Hello, and welcome to a very special edition, at least for me, of the Hot Dog and a Handshake Wrestling Cast Review Series. I am Shane Price, joined by Jayden and Jayden. We're going back to my first ever live Wrestle Kingdom with Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Yes.
From the Tokyo Dome, January 4th.
2016.
Commentary by Millennial Collection 18, more importantly, than Matt Striker.
Okay, so the English commentary was Kevin Kelly, Matt Striker, and Yoshitatsu.
But the Jim Ross version is out there somewhere.
Matt Striker, jarring voice to hear in New
know.
Japan for me.
It really is.
Especially because, what was it, like a month ago we did Extreme Rules 2011? That's where I know Matt Striker from. And so he knows ball, though. I'll give him that. He knows ball.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we watching this show? Well, Tanahashi Jam is a show that New Japan's putting on. He's teaming with Marufuji, right? Against Kiyomiya and Ryohei Oiwa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that match is happening at Tanahashi Jam. This is just a show celebrating Tanahashi, celebrating his career. So we went back to one of what is considered one of his greatest matches, if not his single greatest match.
My first live. This is the first one I watched, though, for sure. It's 10. It was the Jim Ross one I watched. It wasn't live.
Okay. I think my first one I watched was the 2-night one where Kota Ibushi wrestled on both nights in the big match. That's the first one I watched.
Dude, for 11, I don't even have to watch it again. I can do it by memory alone.
Nice.
Guarantee it.
All right, you want to get into
the New Japan Rambo? Of course I'm not going to New Japan Rambo, man. Come on.
Yep.
What do you take me for?
Young Lion spotting is one of my favorite things to do when we do New Japan. And in this one, immediately saw Jay White and Juice Robinson.
See, old guy spotting is my favorite. We got a couple of those.
So you want to go through the list here? People who are in this match.
Yes, I do. Kojima,
yep.
Liger, Hiro Saito, Yano, Shiro Koshinaka, Tenzan, Haku.
Yeah, Haku was awesome. That was a big surprise.
Taguchi, Blue Justice and Nagata, Manabu Nakanishi, Tiger Mask 4, Fujiwara, who is goddamn old.
As Matt Striker mentions, the Fujiwara armbar.
Yes,
this guy.
It's
that
Fujiwara Gumi. That guy. Yeah. So Minoru Suzuki, you like him? You all like him, right? That's the guy who trained him.
Yeah.
The great Kabuki.
Yep.
Captain fucking New Japan. What a loser. Yoshihashi, Mascara Dorada, Sakuraba, who you may not know, amazing MMA talent, beat the Gracie family. Who, if you know MMA, big fucking deal.
Oh, okay, so it's like
beating
the Hart family.
It's like you wrestling John Cena and you win.
Oh, crazy. Okay. And the last guy?
Fucking cheeseburger.
Also, by the way, Mascara Dorada, for people currently watching AEW.
It's the original.
Not this one. It is Grand Metalik, who was in Lucha House Party in WWE and in the Cruiserweight Classic. It's that Mascara Dorada.
Yes.
So
Young Lions spotting. So go, who do you see for Young Lions?
In this match,
one of them stuck out like a sore thumb.
Jay White stands out immediately, and then Juice Robinson does for sure too.
Yeah, but
it's always easier to spot Gaijin.
Yeah, it is. I remember watching the G1 2015 too.
Often, because part of it's they're all wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
And often the Japanese talent all have the same haircut.
Yes.
The Gaijin are easy to spot because they're like the pale guys with different haircuts, and so it's like. So I'm just sitting there squinting. I'm like, is that fucking Jay White?
The answer is yes.
And then it's like, oh, and then Juice you see with the dreads.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's Juice. That's CJ Parker right there.
So when I first started watching this, Jay White had not debuted yet. So when he debuted, it was a big deal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him.
One of your young lions?
I saw him on his excursion.
Okay, I don't really know who that is for me. That I remember as a young lion.
Maybe like Yoda Tsuji or Shota.
Well, because I just I mean, it's obviously it's much easier to see the young lions when you go back than it is in the time and then remember them when they go off on excursion and come back. I know. Shota was one I was very excited to see come back. Yu Uemura was one I was very excited to see come back, and Ryohei Oiwa. Those were the first three that I was very excited to see. Come back.
Even to Noah, that doesn't count.
I know, but I don't watch Noah, so for me, he was just gone.
That's fair.
You want to get into the first official match? I gave the Rambo 3 stars. By the way,
I didn't rate the Rambo.
It was fun.
It was just fun to watch. All right, Red Dragon of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, folks, where's the lie? Take on Matt Sydal and Ricochet versus the Young Bucks versus Roppongi Vice.
I think this is my first Sydal and Ricochet tag team match. I don't think I've seen any other tag stuff before. I knew they had been a tag team.
They're a fun tag team.
They're an incredibly fun tag team, dude. I mean, Ricochet right now to a lot of kids, especially that kid at Dynamite that was sitting behind us, is what like Evan Bourne was to me.
Do you think that kid is like hating his life right now?
Because Ricochet's a bad guy?
Yeah.
No, he's probably just a bad kid now.
Probably.
He's probably like a
He's
bully
probably
at school.
bald too.
Yeah.
He probably shaved his head over
Probably
it.
shaved his head. He's probably a bully at school. Wearing weird capes. Matt Sydal, though,
that kid in the podcast.
like Matt Sydal, also known as Evan Bourne, was like a guy for me that was like one of those, whoa, people can do that. People can achieve these moves.
Oscar Ricochet.
And then Ricochet is that for a lot of people, especially now that he's been on WWE and AEW television. He'll be that for a lot of kids. The Young Bucks, obviously, this is the young baby
this
Young
is the
Bucks.
youngest Young Bucks you've ever seen.
Dude.
So, no, it's not. It's not Generation Me.
Yeah, so there's some young Bucks. Roppongi Vice, of course. Dude, Kyle O'Reilly looked like a baby though. That was a young man.
He did.
He was very babyface back then. This also, by the way, all Gaijin opener.
They
Not a
do
Japanese
that
talent
every
in
once
this
in a while where it's all guys in the first match.
Yeah, but it was a hell of a fun match. I mean, you look at the athletes in this. I mean, Red Dragon, not known for their high flying, but everybody else in this known to go off some ropes and do some dives.
Yeah.
And then Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish just going to beat the hell out of you. So, incredible match. I think it was 4.5. I really enjoyed it.
I gave it. Let's go with. Let's go 4. I'm at 4.
4. Yeah. And then 2 weeks in a row, Briscoe's action.
Reach for the skies, boys, with Toru Yano.
Reach for the DVDs,
Reach
boys.
for the DVD. Versus the Bullet Club of Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, and Yujiro Takahashi.
Could not, like, you almost could not put together a worse combination of Bullet Club.
Really couldn't.
Tama's the only semi-interesting thing here.
Yeah.
Like, if you replaced him with Loa,
This match sucks.
terrible.
But wasn't Tonga Loa the week at the time?
Yeah, I think they mentioned Camacho when Haku was in the Rambo. They mentioned that his sons were Tama Tonga of Bullet Club and Camacho.
Shout out to Unico, by the way.
Shout out to Unico. Shout out to Camacho. Yeah, shout out that bike that they had.
Dude, shout out to Mike.
Shout out to that bike. I wrote we conglomerating now.
That's the
my
only
note.
good thing about this match. There's a bit of collaborating going on.
Yeah, this is definitely some conglomeration. It was an okay match. I gave it 2.5.
I gave it 2.
Oh, by the way, this was crowning the first and ever openweight 6-man tag team champions, which
Sure.
were the Briscoes and Toru Yano.
Which begs the question: would Jay Briscoe be a conglomerator?
Would Jay Briscoe have conglomerated?
Because he's the more serious one.
He was the more serious brother. I think he would have worked with the conglomeration, but he wouldn't have like an official member card.
Yeah. Okay.
He wouldn't have like the business card that has the conglomeration logo on it. He wouldn't like. He'd help them out, but he wouldn't like go to the Hall of Conglomeration. The Hall of Conglomerating, which is kind of like the Hall of Justice from DC, but it's just an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese.
And Mark Briscoe's in the suit the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look what I found in the bag.
And of course, Ishii's on the drums.
Oh
shit.
my fucking god! You gotta be kidding me.
My computer just decided to restart in the middle of this.
The next match was Jay Lethal versus Michael Elgin for the title and Ring of Honor title. So, do you remember that match from the top of your head, or do you need to go back to your notes?
I can pull my notes up on my phone. Nope, that's the HD&H, just regular episode notes. That's the wrong one. Here, give it a second. My computer does this from time to time. I would say like once every 2 weeks this just happens. It has never happened in the middle of an episode before, so that's not fun. Next match was Jay Lethal, Michael Elgin for the Ring of Honor title. Do you want to give our weekly it's public service announcement?
Again, both these guys
Has Jay Lethal done some crook stuff?
I think so.
That sucks. I like Jay Lethal.
Both these guys
It sucks when they do crook stuff, but it especially sucks when you like them.
Yeah. So, I just say, the artists from the art here, we were just watching the match from the match, number of people involved.
Yeah.
That being said, it was a whatever match.
Yeah,
I gave it 2.5.
I gave it 3. It was pretty good.
Which says Elgin a bad guy. I usually like what he does.
Yeah, usually the other New Japan stuff we've watched of his, I rated very highly. This one he just didn't click with Lethal for whatever reason. But I think it's.
I think he wasn't fully bald yet. I think that's why.
Yeah, there it is. He wasn't fully bald yet. So yeah, I gave it 3. I just kind of a solid match. We get into the real stuff here because now we got Kenny Omega versus Kushida. I was working in my notes back up now.
This is a great match.
Junior heavyweight title match. Yep, I loved the entrances here, the Back to the Future entrance and the Terminator entrance. That was really cool. Little nostalgia. Entrance thing way better than Triple H's Terminator entrance.
Well, no shit. Dude, come on. Have some more faith in Kenny Omega and
I'm just
Kushida.
putting it out there. Like I knew Kenny would be better, but I'm just putting it out there. If for anyone wondering, better than Triple H's Terminator entrance, not weirder, but better. If you're going for weird, go with Triple H's because his makes no damn sense. But yeah, this was. Let me see what I got here. This was a solid match, but ultimately to me it was disappointing given the talent involved.
Yeah.
Like I expect more out of Kenny Omega and Kushida. I mean, I think that's part of that is because I discovered Kenny Omega and Kushida much later, like a few years later into their careers. For Kenny, it's when AEW starts. When with Kushida, it is whenever he joins NXT. That's when I discover them. So they're more experienced at that point, and those are kind of the versions of them I've known.
You're saying that Kenny wasn't already experienced at this point?
He was, but in my week-to-week wrestling watching, I've never known a Kenny Omega that wasn't a former world champ. You know what I mean?
Right,
I've always known post IWGP title run Kenny Omega. So, and then Kushida, I've just known an older, more experienced Kushida too. So I expected more going in, and so I was a little disappointed. There were a lot of timing issues with some of their moves that I noticed. Just things that felt like they took a second too long to come together. So I think I gave it a 3.5. Let me look at what I got here.
I gave it
3.25.
I gave it 3.
Okay. Much better than our next match, though, for the IWGP Tag Team titles.
Really? You think so?
The Good Brothers.
The Good Brothers against what? Great
Bash
Heel?
Heel, Tomoaki Hanma, and Togi Makabe.
Yeah, but Hanma hits the headbutt. It's all fine.
Yeah, but this was not a good match. This was just plain not. I wish my notes would load. It looks like every other tab. Oh, just the notes aren't loading for some reason. We'll see if that helps. But yeah, this was just not good. I gave it 2 stars. I was not entertained in the slightest.
I gave it 2 stars as well, but it's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. So then I think this starts the run of matches where, if you're gonna condense this card down, I think you start here with Goto Naito. What do you think of Goto and Naito?
That was a great match. I gave it 4.
Okay, I gave it 3 3/4. A pretty good match. Hard hitting. Again, not the best I've seen of these two guys. I think they could do much better together. Not now, but somewhere between now and then. Probably would have been the best time to do this match.
Yeah.
Still very good. So I gave it 3 3/4.
I gave it 4. Our next match for the never openweight title, it is Ishii versus Shibata. And whenever you see it together, dude, it's just. I gave it 5.
It was a 5. Okay, I went 4 1/4.
I don't think I've ever given these two together less than a 5.
I loved this match. I wrote here definition of a slobber knocker.
We need to watch their 10 to 13-minute match again at 5 from Meltzer.
Yeah, I would love to just watch the JR commentary of this match. If I could
Yeah.
pick one match of this card I
I
want to see JR call,
Yeah.
it's this shit. Because they were beating the hell out of each other. Yeah, I really, really loved it. I'm a big Ishii fan, so of course I was down as soon as I saw this on the card. Yeah, like I said, 4.25, and then we get to kind of the two big matches of the night.
Yeah. So first of all, Nakamura versus AJ Styles for the IWGP Intercontinental. You've probably seen the end of this match, right? Like you do like the fist bump.
Yeah.
They have to go in the same place. Who gives a shit? This is their last NJPW match. This is their last singles match for New Japan.
Yeah, both of them. This was AJ's second to last match overall. He would team with Omega against Nakamura and Yoshihashi the next night.
They had to turn on
At New Year's
AJ.
Dash, yeah. Before he leaves for WWE, debuts in the Rumble, of course. Shinsuke would leave New Japan at the end of January, so he would wrestle through the end of the month and then left. So my question for you, as we are reviewing AJ's last, come on, computer, quit with this shit. As we are reviewing AJ's last singles match in New Japan, do you think we're close to seeing AJ's last WWE match? What are your thoughts on the potential contract ending and potentially not re-signing from AJ Styles?
I don't know. He said it's gonna be on Raw every week. So I don't know. I think so. I think so.
You think that he's staying, or you think he's
I
going?
think he's gonna stay.
He's going to stay.
I think he's
So we're
staying
not.
for his last deal.
I mean,
yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, we're probably only a couple years away from his last match in general.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, obviously, I want him to go because I think he could have a much better final run in AEW than he can in.
Well,
WWE.
I think the crowd may have done it for him too. If he doesn't
Yeah.
say, I think that crowd.
Oh,
may be
because
the reason why.
AEW crowds will go bonkers for every match. Like they'll go bonkers for the big ones like Ospreay and Omega and Okada, but they'll also go bonkers if he's just in there with mid card guys like Buddy Matthews or if he's in there with Mark Briscoe or Ricochet or a Brian Keith. You know what I mean? Just lower card guys. My favorite spot of this match was the triangle choke into a Styles Clash.
That was awesome.
Shinsuke he first has AJ in a armbar, like the kind of the cross arm breaker type armbar, and then AJ tries to get out of it, so Nakamura transitions into a triangle choke, and then AJ picks him up and Styles clashes him out of the triangle choke, which looked awesome. Just what a match, man. That's my summary. What a match.
Yeah.
I gave this 4 3/4. It was almost a 5
I
for me.
gave it a 5 too.
You get a 5?
This is just a 3 5 for me, so that'll be not shocking.
Yeah. Little notes here at the end of the match. You talked about the fist bump. All 3 young lions that get in the ring with AJ Styles at the end of this match are future Bullet Club. They are Juice Robinson, Jay White, and David Finlay.
Shit, apart from Juice, they're all leaders too.
And yeah, Jay and Finlay are the 2 that help him to the back.
Long-term
2
booking.
leaders, yeah.
Long-term
So
booking.
all 3 young lions involved in the match afterwards are future Bullet Club, which I thought was really cool.
Long-term booking right there.
And Jay and Juice, future lovers, which is interesting. Or maybe they already were at this point. Who knows? I don't know exactly the timeline on that. And then the fist bump at the end is just. I'm assuming in New Japan circles it's an iconic image. It was one of those things that as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
It is.
Yeah. So I really really liked this match. It just wasn't quite a 5.
Even
for me.
getting in right after this happened, like I got into the BOS shade this year,
Mhm.
2016. So I'd say definitely still that iconic image.
Okay. So, Okada Tanahashi is our main event. This match series then going into the match was 3-3-1. Now in singles matches, 9-4-3 Okada. So this one
Damn,
will end.
Tana.
Yeah. So Tanahashi wins one more at this point. So and then they have 2 more ties. So not great for Tanahashi down the stretch in this rivalry. Really, really ends up in Okada's favor. My favorite spot in this match was just a fucking beautiful flying drop kick from Okada.
He does those amazing.
Dude. Oh, I think okay. Drop kick Mount Rushmore. Who you got?
Okada.
Okay.
Sheldon Benjamin.
Sheldon Benjamin's a good one. kind of a wild card one. Mark Jindrak had I'm not even joking. Like, that sounds like a joke. I'm not fucking kidding. Look at Mark Jindrak's drop kick. He wasn't great at a lot of stuff. He was great at drop kicks.
And and Samoa Joe doing a drop kick off the concrete.
Young Randy had a great drop kick.
Samoa Joe
Eddie Guerrero had a great drop.
Ruining his career with the flying drop off the stairs.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But yeah, Eddie Guerrero had a great drop. AJ, for his credit, also up there for great drop kicks. But Okada's definitely on there, right?
Yes.
It was Okada and Shelton Benjamin for sure. And then I think it's tough. But I'm not even kidding about Mark Jindrak though. I'm trying to think of who else had a good drop kick.
Did Ahmed Johnson have a good drop kick?
Probably. He did everything great. But yeah, this was a beautiful work of art. This match, just one of those, just lives up to the reputation, and probably is part of the reason we have the reputation for just insane epics to close out a Wrestle Kingdom for that IWGP title. 5 stars, pretty easily.
Easy 5 stars.
Pretty easily. Anything else on this match, or do you want to get into categories?
Let's get into categories.
All right, best moments. I think it has to be the Shinsuke AJ fist bump.
Yeah, I'd agree.
MVP of the night. Is it Matt Striker?
Kazuchika Okada.
It's Okada. No, I feel like I have to give it. Here's the thing: is like, so I gave that match a better rating, but I think I'm gonna go with AJ. I think that match was a better rating from a cohesive unit perspective between the two men, and AJ had a better individual performance. So even though I rated the main event higher, I'm going to go with him. AJ.
You've been TW brand. Dude, AJ got a 100 rating in his match against Shinsuke. Got like an 85.
Yeah. Heat check. Obviously, with New Japan matches, this is always
Sakuraba.
Haku,
yeah.
Haku's a good one.
It's somebody in the rainbow.
Yeah. It could be one of the young lions. Could it be David Finlay Jr.?
Fujiwara.
I'm gonna go Haku though. I think I'm gonna go Haku. Or Cheeseburger. That's a good one too.
I'm gonna go Fujiwara because that out of the blue.
Yeah. Gear of the night.
Tanahashi.
This is a tough one.
AJ.
Tanahashi. AJ had great gear. AJ's white gear was beautiful. I'm trying to think of anybody else whose gear stood out in my mind here. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go AJ. I think I liked his the most. We'll go with AJ for gear of the night. Apex Mountain.
I'm going no.
Nothing for Apex Mountain?
Yeah.
Is this the Apex for Bullet Club, or is it the Kenny era?
It's the Kenny era.
Kenny era, okay. Apex Mountain. I'm trying to think of anything else.
AJ Styles' run is the Apex for Mount Fuji Pictures, though.
Yep, that is true. Apex Mount Fuji Pictures. So, not for Tanahashi, not for Okada,
nope.
Not for Nakamura,
nope.
Not for AJ.
Nope.
What do you think is it? I mean, is AJ's TNA stuff, or is it that WWE title run?
For me, it's just TNA stuff.
TNA stuff. I mean, he could have just 3 Apexes.
That'd be fair.
Could be TNA World Champ, IWGP World Champ, and WWE World Champ. All 3 of those.
Yeah, why not?
Could just be 3 Apexes. Surprise of the show.
Haku
for sure. Yeah, I was not.
Or Matt Striker.
Matt Striker, not only because I wasn't expecting to hear him, but once I heard him, I wasn't expecting him to do as good of a job the whole night as he did.
Okay, Matt Striker.
You know what I mean? Matt Striker, that's a good one. Recasting. Which match do you want to recast?
The last one.
The last one.
The Ace versus the Future Ace, what it would be.
The Ace versus the Future. So who's the Ace right now?
Mox.
Okay, so you're going to go.
Well, if you want to go AW, Mox.
Okay, if you want to go a different company, yeah, Mox is definitely the Ace of AEW.
Because New Japan doesn't really have an Ace right now.
Is Mox still the Ace of AEW?
He's the champion.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Ace.
Yeah, fair.
Tanahashi was the Ace for a long time without being champion the whole time. Because he could argue Hangman.
He's the Ace, but he's about to give it off to somebody else.
To Hangman?
Yeah.
Or Ospreay?
Hangman.
Hangman. So this is very much equivalent to our All-In main event this year.
Yeah.
Moxley Hangman. I like that. Works well with upcoming. I mean, that's just in a couple of weeks. I mean, not as we're recording this, but as this is coming out, that'll be just a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
Best double feature.
Okada Omega 2.
Okada Omega 2. Okay. Anything from a Tanahashi standpoint that sticks out to you?
Tanahashi versus.
Didn't he have a great match with Naito the next year for
Yeah.
NXT?
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
Just watch Wrestle Kingdom 12.
AJ Shinsuke here. AJ Shinsuke WrestleMania 34, obviously. No, actually, don't double feature it with WrestleMania 34. You'll just be disappointed. Is there another AJ match that could be a good one with his?
The triple threat from Unbreakable.
We always say the triple threat from Unbreakable.
What do you want me to say?
Anytime one of those three guys shows up,
It's the best match they had.
Wrestling Criterion Collection. Anything? I don't.
Is Wrestle Kingdom itself too vague?
I think it's too vague. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't quite. I don't quite think that Okada Tanahashi makes it. I gave it 5, but I don't think it makes it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Classic hot dog, classic handshake.
The IC title belt match? No, wait, it's a bit different. Yeah, I don't know what I did. Okay, yeah. The IC title belt match.
Yeah, we picked it for the Tanahashi match, so you can pick AJ Shinsuke.
AJ Shinsuke, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Also, I just realized that last week we didn't rate Man Up out of 10.
So do you want to do it now?
So we'll just do both now.
Okay.
Let me pull that up. All right, so Man Up out of 10. What are you going to give that one?
7.5.
7.5. I gave it 7 3/4. I couldn't decide between 7.5 and 8, so I just went 7 3/4. So we're right in line for that one. That's going to be gotta be one of our higher. Yeah, that's going to be our third highest rated of the year so far. Wrestle Kingdom, honestly, I went a 7. Not as good as you're expecting from the Wrestle Kingdom brand, because there were some stinkers in there, but ultimately still a pretty good show.
I give it an 8.
Give it an 8. By the way, Man Up marks 3 shows in a row you gave a 7.5 to. I mean, you're just being honest. You're just throwing your rating out there, but that's really funny. All right, so that's Wrestle Kingdom 10. You wanna take it out and preview
Our
next week's? I also realized that we totally didn't preview that this was coming up last week. But
that's whatever. We were recording them at the same time, so it's a little bit awkward. Next week, it's WWE SummerSlam 2000.
Oh yeah, my birthday.
Your birthday pick, yeah. Mine's down after that.
Weirdly coincide because this is an Elimination Chamber featuring Goldberg, and weirdly coincides with that Saturday night's main event. That at this moment in time, as we're recording, we're pretty sure will be Goldberg's retirement match, but that has not been announced yet.
Funnily enough. Mine also goes after that weekend too.
Because yours is an All Japan Women's medley that you put together. That I'm assuming you'll be posting online for people to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, it will be posted on YouTube for people to watch. Probably on Shane's personal YouTube channel. I mean, he could put it on the Hot Dog account. I wouldn't care.
Hot Dog one, yeah.
Okay, so it'll be on the Hot Dog Handshake account. Hopefully, we'll put that up. So that kind of AJW is an All Japan Women's. It's an all women's promotion. So that lining up with Evolution 2 is really good. And we wrote those in months ago.
You're welcome, America.
I wrote mine in February 24th.
And then mine was probably before that.
Yours was written in the same day. I probably texted you. I was like, hey, I just put in mine. What's your birthday pick?
Okay.
And then yeah. So we've had these on here since February 24th. So anything else you want to take us out, Shane?
No, that's all we got. So stay tuned for SummerSlam 03. And as always, enjoy wrestling.